YouTubers, this is an addition to the writer's guide that I did last year. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mavidbabae. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Sorry if it's wrong, I'll put your name up here. He did a video response to the quick guide and gave me some suggestions about character naming, which have been really helpful. I've actually started to look into what he said, and it's sort of given me some ideas for characters for my sci-fi and fantasy books. You are right, Paul. In my romantic comedy book I did use a lot of sort of Jack and Daniels and all that sort of stuff, which was okay for that kind of book, but for sci-fi fantasy it doesn't quite cut it. Thanks for your suggestions, and thanks for your comments and your video response. Okay, in this video I'm going to be talking about viewpoint, and I'm also going to be talking about how to fit in writing into a busy time schedule. Okay, first of all, viewpoints. Now, my first book, I gave it to my sisters. They read it and they said that it read like a script. What I decided to do is change the viewpoint from, I suppose, almost like a video type viewpoint to a first person viewpoint. Now, I came to this conclusion after they told me their suggestions, and also after I'd read a few books myself. It is a little bit trickier to do it from a first person point of view. When I say that, I mean I'm writing it as if it was me that it was happening to, in a present tense. One of the things that I found that I had to sort of juggle around a bit was when it comes to things that happen to the character when he's like unconscious, because there's a bit in my recent book where the main character is unconscious for a while. So what I had to do is I had to get another character, which was his friend, to have a conversation with him to explain what had happened to him while he was unconscious. I have found that it is easier to do it from the first person perspective. I also think it's easier to read, but then I'm only a new writer, so each to his own sort of thing. Obviously you've got to decide what your viewpoint is and go with that. I mean, what I would suggest is write your book how you want to write it, get someone to read over it, read some books yourself, take notes on how they write their books, and then look at your viewpoint again and see if you need to change it, or if you want to change it. Again, I highly recommend this book, Teach Yourself Writing a Novel by Nigel Watts. It has got loads of useful stuff in here, and the thing that I've noticed recently is that he puts in here things to try. So it's sort of like a little bit of homework on what you've already just read, and it really does help. And I'm still going back to this book even now for ideas. I mean, he does explain in here about viewpoints. I think there's 4 different viewpoints, and he goes into it in more detail. I mean, I would recommend to anybody to either get that book or get another Teach Yourself How to Write a Novel book, because it gives you helpful hints from established writers. So yeah, that's my plug done. Right, now how to fit in your writing in a busy day. I think every writer would probably like to be able to sit in a nice cabin near a lake or near the beach and spend the whole day just writing and editing. I know I would, but for me that is just not practical. In my new book that I've been writing, basically what I've done, and this sort of happened by accident, I would start writing at about 6:30 in the evening after I had my dinner, and I would write until about 9 o'clock. I would then do the spell checker quickly and then leave it, and then say watch a video or something, and then the next day after lunch I would spend about an hour just going over what I had written the previous day, just to make sure that the spelling was right and the grammar was right. I mean, I know you use spell checker, but sometimes you can put the wrong word in, and because I'm slightly dyslexic, so I have to check what I've written anyway. I suppose it's a sort of little form of editing, but it helps me to keep the story flow in my mind, and also helps me to see how much I've done and to make sure that it all flows okay. Now, doing it that way, I only did it Monday to Friday and had Saturday and Sunday off. When I wrote my first book, I just went flipping nuts, and I did like 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours a day, and by the time it got to about a month and a half, I'd worn myself out. I then had to have a rest for like, I think it was about 4 months before I started writing again, because I just, I'd blitzed the idea so much and written so much in such a short period of time that it just overwhelmed me. It was quite an emotional book, to be honest. What I found this time round is that when I did it Monday to Friday and had Saturday and Sunday off, it's helped me to have a break from it. because I think you need a break. You need to listen to music or watch a video or read a book or whatever. You need to allow your imagination to recharge, which I found really easy and really helpful. Now, doing it that way, I did about 24,000 words in a week, which was pretty good going. I mean, if an average book, according to this, is 80,000 words, then nearly 25,000 words a week means that you're going to have it finished under a month, which is pretty good going. If you're under the pressure of a publicist, then that's great. But like I said in my first video, when you're not under pressure from publicists and you're writing for your own pleasure, then I would say take your time. Like, I haven't written for probably about 2 or 3 weeks. No, actually about 2 weeks. And I found that it's been a little bit freeing, because when I was writing I felt that I had to bash it all in and get it all down. But because I haven't written anything, other ideas have been churning in my head, and it's sort of almost preparing me to go back to the book and carry on doing it. I think if you sort of try and cram it all in, it just, it just doesn't work, or it doesn't work for me anyway. So I would say take it easy, take it in your own time. If it takes a week, then great. If it takes 10 years to write one book, then that's great as well, because everyone's different. So there you go. I hope these things have helped. I do appreciate all the comments that I got on the first quick guide that I did, and I do appreciate any advice that people want to give, like Paul did, because I am a new writer, and I know that my stuff isn't perfect, and I know that I don't know all the answers. If I can help people that are a couple of stages behind me, then I'm happy to do that, and it is encouraging to see that people have been encouraged and helped by my video. If you do have any comments or even suggestions, then just get in contact with me or leave a comment, and I muchly appreciate it. Now, Mavidbabae's video about naming characters is a very good. He has some really good suggestions. So if you are writing a fantasy book or a sci-fi book and you need some more exotic names, then I would suggest watching his video, because it is very helpful, and I'll put a link up to it over there. The link will be to it on that side. Yes. Okay, well, happy writing, and I'll probably be a while until I put up another addition to this guide, but I'm glad that it's helping people, and I just hope you enjoy this one. Okay then, bye bye for now.